Thank you, Jeroen.
Merci, Jeroen.
I just want to agree with the President of the Eurogroup and say a few words, first of all, on Greece. For 3 months now, since the elections, and 2 months since the 20th of February, we have to take stock of what's happened between those 3 months and 2 months. And now, it would be wrong to say that nothing's happened. We have made progress, limited progress, not sufficient, that's true, but there has been progress, particularly in the very latest few days. We have spoken a lot amongst ourselves, and it's always useful to talk, and we have made some progress. These discussions have enabled the two sides to understand their respective positions and to understand each other better. It wasn't easy at the outset, but it was necessary to go through that process. However, and everyone recognizes, it's also true that we haven't made as much progress as we would have wanted to and as we need. Positions have come closer together on some aspects. On others, we are still too far apart. And so, like the President of the Eurogroup, I would say that we need a global agreement, an overall approach, and we're not there yet. We're not at all near that yet. We're far from it. For a global agreement, for an overall approach, we need reforms. Reforms, on one hand, probably allowing the government to meet its promises and commitments on the social side in particular, that also enable Greece to meet its commitments to its partners, and also because these reforms are necessary for the country's economy to be competitive, to create jobs, to have a fairer society with more growth, which is the natural, hoped outcome of Greek people. Therefore, efforts must be sped up. Acceleration now, this weekend, and from there on. Intensive efforts need to be stepped up. That is the only solution for our shared aim to be achieved, the aim we all share, for Greece to be anchored in the Eurozone and be stable and prosperous. And for that, as Jeroen said, a large part of responsibility rests on the Greek government.
Time is running out. But determination to reach a positive outcome is as strong as ever. So let's step up a gear and bring this process to a successful conclusion in the interest, as was said, of the Greek people and of all Europeans. I would also like to add very few words on two other member states, Cyprus and Spain. Concerning Cyprus, as Jeroen said, I was able to inform the Eurogroup that there has been very encouraging development in recent days that opened the way for the program to be back on track after several months, 6 months, as a matter of fact, of difficulties. The adoption last Saturday by the Parliament of the new insolvency framework meant that further delay in the entry into force of the foreclosure law can be avoided, and this law is now into force. And these are, as it was said, important steps towards completing the stabilization and strengthening of the banking sector in Cyprus, which in turn is a prerequisite for strengthening the flow of credit to the households and businesses. So we will now be able to move forward with the next review mission to Cyprus, to be started early next month, which I expect to conclude in time for me to report on progress to the next meeting of the Eurogroup on the 11th of May. As regards Spain, I outlined to the Eurogroup the key findings of the third post-program surveillance report, which will be finalized and published in early May. Overall, recent developments in Spain confirm the positive trend seen over the past year. The economic recovery has gained momentum. The financial sector has further stabilized, and the restructuring of banks, having received state aid, is well underway. Also, I want to express satisfaction looking at the implementation of structural reforms, which has progressed, though challenges remain and certain reforms still need to be brought to completion or complemented with additional measures. So, Of course, there is no cause for complacency, especially with what we know, unemployment at such high levels, but we wanted to recognize the important progress that has been made in Spain. And as far as the thematic discussion is concerned, I can only confirm the way you address the situation and the importance of structural reform in order to create jobs and growth in the EU, which was also a key message in the IMF meetings last week in Washington.